Hello friends, it's Miss Stephanie. It's time for Friday Family Storytime. I'm so excited to be here with you again on Friday to share some fun, silly stories. Sometimes I try to think of a theme, something to tie all of the books together on one topic, and it is just so hard because we have so many new books come in all the time, and I love all of them the most. So today I just have 5 books that I think the theme is these are the best books, and I'm excited to share them with you. So let's get ready. Let's stretch our fingers out and get them ready to clap. Are you ready to sing our hello song? It goes like this. Story time is starting, clap your hands. Story time is starting, clap your hands. Story time's begun. I hope that you have fun. Story time is starting, clap your hands. And then sometimes we stomp our feet, and it's been snowing, so I have my boots on again, and they make a great stomping sound. Story time is starting, stomp your feet. Story time is starting, stomp your feet. Story time's begun. I hope that you have fun. Story time is starting, stomp your feet. Do you remember last week when I was wearing that funny sweater and it made me feel like I had wings? That was fun. But I feel ready to read this week. Do you feel ready to read? Let's start. I read this book today for the very first time and I was so amazed. It's called Slow Down, Tumbleweed. Have you ever seen a tumbleweed while you were driving down the street? I see them sometimes blowing along and I love them. And this one is so happy that I just had to share this book with you. Mabel was a tumbleweed. Born in a tangle of sticks and dust, she came unrooted in a dry desert ravine. And you can see that dry desert landscape there. From the moment she rolled out from her thicket of weeds, she tumbled. She rambled and rumbled and rode the wind. She screamed across highways, skidded through desert flats, always a trail of dirt at her backside. There she goes. Life was amazing, and to see it all, experience it all, discover it all, you had to go, go, go. If you wanted to know life, you had to go out and get after it. Cars honked, bobcats chased, and varmints of every shape and size screeched to a halt as she happily hooted by. By the time she was 5, she'd tumbled 40 miles to Lubbock and back. By the time she was 6, she visited at least a dozen new places a day. She even danced the night currents in her sleep. Sure, she was a weed, but she was free. Lubbock is a place in Texas. Passing over all the other weeds rooted in the ground, she felt sorry for them. How dull their lives must be, unable to roam and roll. Lifeless, she thought, as she hurled herself around bales of hay and curly top knotweed. Boring, she determined, as she tossed over a tractor, stinknet and toadflax weeds motionless on the horizon. Here she goes over the tractor. One day, the dust thicker than fleas on a farm dog, Mabel woke up to what she knew would be her greatest adventure yet. Whoa, look at all that dust. The wind was grand. She would swing higher than ever before, maybe even travel as far as the state line. As she unfurled herself to the gusts, she whooped and whirled, twisted and twirled. Life, she ballyhooed. By high noon, she was on the upside of the current, spiraling north. An hour later, she was a blur, a whirly wheel of sticks and twigs. The armadillos were in awe. The coyotes, transfixed. Wow. But minutes later, as she rambled east, a wind swept west, flinging her backward past an old hog and hen taking a dust bath. Can you see them? And against a barn and a fence, where she came to a complete standstill. Uh-oh, she's stuck. She waited for a wind, a gust, even the slightest flurry to push her along, but it did not come. She tugged, she heaved, but she did not budge. She was stuck like a weed in the ground. Mabel's heart grew heavy. Stillness was scary. Life would become dull, boring, lifeless. As day turned into night, tears began to drip down her twigs. sad. Moonlight cast shadows of tall, fancy cacti on the barn wall beside her, but her eyes were too fogged with tears to notice. A handsome badger stopped to see if she was okay, but she missed it entirely. Her sobs were so deep and loud. Here she's crying. There's the handsome badger and the shadows. For hours she cried, then tugged, then cried, twisting her tangled body to get free, but eventually she grew tired, too tired to keep trying. So as the sun came up, she just sat there. Mabel watched the light of the morning sun waltz across the tall grass in the distance. Clouds stretched across the sky, and she saw formations she'd never seen. She heard a wind chime, music more lovely than she'd ever known. And when a she-cow paused nearby, Mabel marveled at her eyelashes, long and lush and thick as prairie grass. There's the cow. Mabel was transfixed, so much life and beauty delivered directly to her as she sat. Eventually, as things go, the perfect gust ambled along and Mabel broke free. She rolled and rambled, but she'd only gone a few yards before she stopped in the open light. There, Mabel settled into the quiet of her mind, so she could find sweet stillness once again. Just sitting there, there was so much to see, so much to experience, so much to discover, so much life tumbling out right before her very eyes. And that's the end. Did you like that? It's called Slow Down Tumbleweed, and it's written by Haven Iverson and illustrated by Rob Saye Jr. I thought it was really, really nice. Okay, well, all of the tractors and cars and rolling make me think of a song that doesn't have anything to do with tumbleweeds, but I think you'll know it. Can you make your wheels go around? Let's sing the Wheels on the Bus together. Are you ready? The wheels on the bus go round and round, round and round, round and round. The wheels on the bus go round and round, all through the town. Do you remember the part in the story where the car honked? Let's honk the horn on the bus. The horn on the bus goes beep, 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 beep. The horn on the bus goes beep, 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 all through the town. Let's do the wipers. The wipers on the bus go swish, 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 swish. The wipers on the bus go swish, 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 all through the town. And now let's do the babies, because the babies on the bus cry just like the tumbleweed was crying. The babies on the bus go wah, 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 wah. The babies on the bus go wah, 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 all through the town. And now let's give ourselves a big hug. We'll be the parents on the bus saying, I love you. Ready? The grown-ups on the bus say, I love you, I love you, I love you. The grown-ups on the bus say, I love you, all through the town. Help those babies stop crying. And then every time I finish, I like to end where I started with the wheels on the bus go round and round, round and round, round and round. The wheels on the bus go round and round, all through the town. Good singing, you guys. All right, let's see what story we're going to have next. Oh, I know. It's going to be rectangle time. And I loved this book too. The words are by Pamela Paul and the pictures are by Becky Cameron. And I'll give you a hint. We're having rectangle time right now. I love this story. Here's a really nice illustration of a cat. And here are the pictures of the real cats that they dedicated this book to. Oh, good. It's time. They're bringing out the rectangle. I know just what they need. A soft, fluffy, non-rectangular shape to offset those sharp corners and round out the company. You can always count on me for rectangle time. Be there in a jiff. There's the cat that's talking. Boy, man, rectangle, and me. All the necessary pieces are in place. Here's what I've discovered. Rectangle time usually takes place at night, though sometimes they break out the rectangle during the day too. The man does a lot of talking, but it's a low-key activity overall, just the right setting for a fuzzy nuzzle. Have you figured out what rectangle time is yet? Story time. Watch carefully. See how the man and the boy hold the rectangle together? That means they each have one hand free for me. You can tell how much they need me. Sometimes I scratch an itch on the corner of the rectangle. That's how I help make the rectangle feel useful too. Other times I rub my signature scent on the rectangle's edges. This is a form of generosity on my part. We all share in our very own ways. You can see him rubbing on the book. It's pretty cute. Great, it's that time of day again. Hello, rectangle. Wait a second, this is new. The boy and the man are taking turns holding the rectangle now. That's okay. I'll let whoever's not holding it stroke my belly. Some cats get prickly about the belly rub, but not me. The boy and the man are taking turns talking too? It's nice to have two voices in the mix, but three would be even better. Purr, purr. You know, background music. Can you tell what's happening? I think he's maybe learning to read. Rectangle time! Something has seriously shifted. What happened to the man? Why is the boy holding the rectangle all by himself? I better go in. Now he has learned to read. Look at the poor little guy. He's just staring at the rectangle. Alone, quiet, too quiet. Clearly he needs me now, more than ever. Meow! That should break up the silence. It feels so good to be helpful. Phew! He still knows what to do with my chin area. I got worried. Yes, that's the spot right there. A bit more to the left, please. To the left! Yow! No big deal. It wasn't on purpose. I get it. He sort of shifted his book to block the cat. What's this, I wonder? That rectangle is awfully small. No wonder he has to stare at it so hard. He's really looking at the book. He's reading a chapter book now. I must be outside his field of vision. I'll just let him know I'm ready. We all need little reminders sometimes. Wait, what? I'm going to assume that was an accident. So he takes his paw and walks away, moves him so he can get off the chair. Ahoy! There's that undersized rectangle again. I'll make things right this time. I think he's going to follow him up there. Sorry to keep you waiting, sweet, fluffy, and very much cuddly object at your service. He seems seriously distracted. I'll move a little closer since it's just the two of us these days. I will enhance your rectangle. Ah, there we go. Do you think he's going to want the cat sitting on the book? Now that was not an accident. I must be positioning myself wrong. Maybe softly shaped fluffy objects don't belong on top of rectangles after all. Maybe they belong on top of other irregularly shaped fluffy objects. Can you guess what's going to happen? There, that's better. That's funny. I really like that book. I've had lots of cats that like to help me when I was reading or working on my computer. They especially like books, and I think sitting on top of keyboards, that's their specialty. Okay, I have another book to share with you because I like cats and dogs. I'm going to read you this dog book called Ruffles and the Red Coat. Look at how cute Ruffles is. It's by David Melling. He has written the words and done the pictures. This is Ruffles. Ruffles loves howling, scratching, eating, fetching, sniffing, chewing, digging, running, and sleeping. But Ruffles does not love his new red coat. Not one teeny tiny little bit. No, 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 no. He does not like it. Ruffles should wear his coat when it is cold and wet. Today it is cold and wet and the rain is making puddles. Ruffles loves puddles. So Ruffles sniffs and pats and licks and splishes and splashes and splashes and jumps and jumps and jumps without his coat. Uh-oh. This is Ruffles' friend Ruby. Ruby's wearing her new blue coat. They sniff and pat and lick and splish and splash and splosh and jump and jump and jump until big dogs come. The puddle is all splashed away, and Ruffles is wet and cold and mad. But Ruby shakes and wags her tail. She still wants to play. Ruffles doesn't. No, 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 no. Ruby. Now Ruby is sad. So she goes away. And Ruffles is all alone. But then Ruby comes back with Ruffles' red coat. It takes a really long time, and he has to do lots and lots of wriggling until at last the coat is on. And look! Another puddle. Maybe the red coat is not so bad after all. Ruffles loves sniffing, patting, licking, splishing, splashing, sploshing, and jumping in puddles, but most of all, Ruby. Aww. I love Ruffles and Ruby. Wasn't that cute? He's so cute. That really makes me smile. Okay, friends, I think we have time for one more story. So I am going to pick a book about another kind of pet. It's a goldfish, and this book is called My Pet Goldfish, and it's written and illustrated by Catherine Rayner. It's really pretty too. Do you have a pet fish? Bubbles? My pet goldfish. When I was 4, I got my first pet, a fish no bigger than my hand with red and orange scales. My very own goldfish. He didn't have a name yet, so I got to choose one, and I named him Richard. Richard came to live in the big tank in our kitchen with all my sister's fish. There were lots of plants to nibble, rocks to suck, and pebbles to search through for bits of food. And then there are some fish facts. It says goldfish have been kept as pets for more than 1,000 years, and goldfish need plenty of space to grow properly, so you need a big tank to keep them in. After school, I would tell Richard about my day. He would swim over when he saw me, wiggling his tail if I gently touched the glass. He would follow my finger. People think goldfish forget things quickly, but that can't be right because Richard definitely knew who I was. It says goldfish have very good eyesight. They can see even more colors than humans. And goldfish, scientists believe goldfish can remember things for up to 5 months. That's a long time. One day, my friend Sandy came over to meet Richard. Sandy lives next door and he knows a lot about fish. Richard was hiding. At first, we couldn't see where. Then we spotted him. Can you see him? When he's not moving, Sandy told me, that means he's taking a nap, even though his eyes are open. That's because fish don't have eyelids. Goldfish don't have lungs like we do either. They breathe using gills, kind of on the sides of their faces. Goldfish use their eyesight and sense of smell to find food, it says. Richard seemed to hear Sandy. He swam up to the surface and started blowing bubbles. He does that when he's hungry, I say, and gave him some fish flakes. He likes eating these, but worms are his favorite. Worms, said Sandy. He sounded impressed. I wonder if my fish like worms. Sandy showed me the pond in his backyard. It was full of goldfish. They wiggled and whirled through the water, their scales shining. These fish were much bigger than Richard. A group of goldfish, it says, is called a troubling. I did not know that. I looked closely. There were some tiny gray fish, too, the size of dots. Look at those ones, I said, pointing. Those are the babies, said Sandy. Their scales will get brighter as they grow up. And it says, baby goldfish are called fry. Sandy's fish were all different shapes, sizes, and colors. There was even one that looked like it was wearing goggles. Look at all those fish. It's so cool. That one's a telescope goldfish, Sandy told me. She's very fancy. There are over 200 kinds of goldfish, it says. Different species include comets, shabunkins, bubble eyes, butterfly tails, and pom-poms. That's cool. A fish swam up to us. It was huge, nearly as long as my arm. This is Goldie, said Sandy. He's 18, even older than my brother. Richard's only 2, I said, frowning. If he gets as big as Goldie, he won't fit in our tank. That's okay, Sandy told me. Then he can live in our pond, and you can see him all the time. I liked the sound of that. Richard would have a lot of space for swimming and new friends, too. And then it says the oldest ever goldfish was 43 years old. That's old. Richard grew and grew and grew. When he was 4.5, he was finally ready to live in Sandy's beautiful pond. And it says, goldfish can grow up to 12 inches long. That's really big. I go and see him all the time. I sit by the edge of the pond and he swims up, doing the same happy little dance and wiggling his tail as if to say, remember me? And then at the end, there are some notes and more information about goldfish. I really, really enjoyed this book, and I hope you did too. Before we sing our goodbye song, let's just really quickly pretend to be a goldfish. Or maybe you could make some gills on the side of your face. Well, I had a lot of fun reading with you today, friends. I hope that you come back again next week for some more stories. Let's say our goodbye song. We need our hands again. We're going to clap. Story time is over. Clap your hands. Story time is over. Clap your hands. Story time is done. I hope that you had fun. Story time is over. Clap your hands. I'll see you next week, friends. Goodbye.